Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Talks with Anthony. Today we're going to have a conversation. For those who are new to the channel, we make mental health conversation content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development and just into your well-being, right? But in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about you're allowed to grow at your own pace that honors your nervous system, right? So in a culture that glorifies hustle and quick results, slowing down can often feel like you're not doing enough, right? So many people believe that growth should be fast, should be constant, or even like visible. You should be seeing things really improving at your, in your hands and just in the sight of what's going on, right? So I really want us to normalize this experience because, like I said, you're not the only one that's going through this. Right, so many people compare their progress to others, right? That comparison, it's common to feel that pressure, in regards to healing faster, achieving more, even, like I said, moving on quicker. Everybody's situation is going to be different, but like I said, kind of draw what's going on that makes sense to you, right? So pressure can create that frustration, self-criticism, even that burnout, right? So sometimes we self-sabotage what's going on, like, why is it that my siblings moving quicker than me and I'm older than them? Or why is it that, this person over here is doing this and I'm smarter than them? Like, why is it that they in a position and I'm not even, I'm older than them, right? So like, why is it that this person got more money? Why am I over here always? So everybody's situation is going to be different. Everybody's point of view and how they're seeing things, perception, etc., is going to be different, right? But I really want us to understand that bottom point blank period, we can all improve, right? But my thing is this though, we have to focus on what's on our plate, minding our business. That's why this is called personal development, right? Everybody has their blessings, everybody has their gifts, everybody has their own situations that they're going to be in, right? But we have to, once again, focus on ourselves, right? So the pressure can, like I said, have that frustration, that self-criticism, even, like I said, that burnout. I don't want you to be tore up from the floor up, but like I said, we have to be able to, like I said, kind of pull away from that sense of negativity. And it's okay that because we're developing some of this awareness, right? So I don't want you to sit there and tear yourself down, but I want us to understand, like, by focusing on someone else, what is that going to do for you? By comparing yourself to someone else, what is that going to do for you? And some people have the mindset because they think that by comparing yourself to other people is going to push you harder, right? You don't have to compare yourself to someone else to push you harder, right? Everything that you have is going to be inside you, right? That's why I'm saying the positive mindset and, believing in yourself and finding that motivation, finding that support, right, is going to be able to help you get there much quicker. Right. But when we let go, when we free ourselves, when we're able to heal, we're able to have, that support and acknowledgement, right, of just comparing ourselves to other people and just negative thinking and just kind of having that hate and having that jealousy, it ain't going to do nothing for us. Right. So I really want us to kind of have some sense on that. Moving forward in regards to psychoeducation, let's really pull some education in regards to this conversation, right? So the nervous system plays a major role in how we adapt to change, right? So growth requires energy, adjustment in addition to recovery, right? So changes are going to happen throughout the process. You got to be kind to yourself throughout the process, right? But once again, in regards to your development, we got to focus on what's on your plate and how you're able to get to where, the outcome that you want to be able to desire if, we focus on your strengths, your abilities, your disabilities, and the support that we may need to get there, right? So too much change quickly can overwhelm the mind, the body, right? And that's why I think that, like I said, slow ourselves down, do what's manageable, right? Focus on what's on our plate, get the support, right? Therapy, having conducive conversations, getting yourself in the right environments, around the right people, right? Some of the people that's around us, right, they compete with us, and this draws envy. This draws us losing our focus on what we got going on and on to something else, into that survival mindset to see who's trying to get us the one up on us, who's trying to deceive us, who's trying to mistrust us, who's trying to use us, manipulate, control, etc. Like the list goes on. So I really want us to, like I said, move away from this misery, move away from this tort from the floor mindset, and to really understand that we're gonna have to kind of make some change. We're gonna have to sacrifice. We're gonna have to change some things up. We're gonna get into some uncomfortable territory. We're gonna have to talk to some real professionals to be able to give us the answers and the support and things that we need, because the people to the left and to the right of us, they may not have the mindset of helping, healing, getting us to that next level. I gotta keep it real with you. Right? So let's move forward in regards to, like I said, the core insight is that sustainable growth happens, when a challenge is balanced, when safety and recovery is there, right? Like I said, I don't want you to be in that survival mindset where we're just, you feel me? We don't know where to look. We don't know, look left, look right. We don't know what's going on, right? We're in that confusion, right? I want us to, like I said, have a balanced, neutral mindset, getting ourselves into nature, getting ourselves away from the distractions, the media, the comparisons, really evaluating our culture, evaluating what was put into us, right? Self-differentiation, so many different things. Like I said, the professionals are going to get you right. You heard? So I really want us to understand that we have to also to believe in ourselves, right? We can achieve better when we believe that we can get better, right? So like I said, pulling ourselves away from the negative mindset to the positive side, right? In regards to some practical reframe, in regards to redefining, the process, we want us to take in consideration that, progress is, in the process is not a race, right? So we're not here to focus on that perfection. We're not trying to walk the fine line of just from everything got to be a certain way. We got to, every day's not going to be the same. Right? Some days, you may be on a 5, you may be on a 6, you may be on 3, right? Like every day is going to be different. But as long as you have the mindset of positivity, you believe in yourself, right? You understand the process of recovery, right? You need that rest, right? You need to understand, you feel me? There's a lot of things that you can understand throughout this as you unravel in your journey, right? Also, too, build that rapport, write these things down, journaling, right? Back in the days, I was like, I don't need no diary for it, you feel me? But when you really apply energy and you really apply what you got going on, you build that rapport to yourself. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see things improve in your life. But whatever you put in is whatever you're going to get. So like I say to people, you have fast the process, you're going to get have fast results. I got to be real with you. That's how I move, right? So, slow growth is still growth. We got to take that in consideration. Consistency matters more than the speed. So as long as you're waking up and like I say, you're having that simple mindset, y'all out here, get familiar. I'm pouring into y'all. You heard? Get this like a pen. Get yourself a paper, whatever y'all got around you, index card. You feel me? Like, and write like a motivational quote. If not, you don't got nothing popping off your head. Like I can do it. Like something simple. You feel me? The simpler the better, right? Or get something online if that means something to you. Whatever you find that's gonna mean something to you, right? And keep that on the wall somewhere, put it up somewhere, and try your best to look at it the more often. And this is going to be able to help you build that rapport with yourself, because it's going to help the neuroplasticity inside your brain, inside your mind, right? The same way you bounce a ball, right? And the body remembers how to do it, like muscle memory, right? Your brain is making those connections, right? Same way you can make the connections here, right? So I really want us to understand, like, the more we put ourselves around positivity, around things that we need, it's gonna make a significant difference. And I also want to share something too. Is that I remember I had a sticky note that I put on in my room on a picture, for instance, and that sticky note was up for years, right? So why is it that a sticky note, so y'all can see, why is it a sticky note could be up for years and it's waiting for us in the back of the bag? It's waiting for us to optimize it, waiting for us to use that connection that we initially dropped, but we wasn't consistent with it. So I'm letting y'all know right there, if it can stick up there and it's there for us, why are we not using it? Right, so I really want us, like I said, make these connections for ourselves. This can change our world. This can change our mindset. This can change, so we're able to develop the motivation to get to our goal, right? So anything that I put my mind to, I can get. And guess what? I got it, right? I got my degree. I'm here. I became this individual, right? So I don't want you to have this envy. I don't want you to have the jealousy. I don't want you to compare yourself to me or anybody else out there, right? The peace lies within, right? So as long as you're able to build this rapport with yourself, right? Connectivity, right? Things will begin to improve once again. Right, so I don't need, to, like I said, grow fast. I don't need to compare myself to other people. I don't need to be able to, like I said, like rush the process, right? I need to grow in a sustainable way that is healthy for you, right? So slow it down, take it easy, have self-compassion, allow yourself that things take time, good things take time, right? Allow yourself that, and things will be able to grow. And I think that also too, for the people out there that are a little older, that's way older than me type stuff too, is that you got to have compassion for yourself. You got to understand that the process of life is what? You get older, we age, right? So regardless of how you look, regardless of how your body feels and looks like, right? Like things change, right? The mobility changed. The way that you was back in the day, you was over here dunking on people, like, you feel me? Your time, passed, right? And vice versa for the young folks. And, we have to embrace the process of life. So I really want us to understand that on a side note, right? But be easy on yourself and find a sustainable way for you able to have that positive and conducive living, right? Some examples I want to be able to take in consideration to this conversation is taking one step at a time towards that goal, right? Only you know what you're working towards, right? Healing without force, forcing yourself to get over it, right? Some of us, like I said, come from dysfunctional environments. People are telling you, get over it. Heal. When are you going to be, how long is it going to take you to have a conversation with us? How long, like people are putting expectations on these deeds on you, right? This is control, right? And that's what I'm telling you. Get yourself into support and having conducive conversation with a professional so you're able to learn these terms, really grow within your family system, your dynamic, your individual, problems, whatever you got going on, really understanding, because with awareness, this gives you protection. So, you know what I mean? You know how to move out here, right? On the back end too. Building habits gradually, we got to take that in consideration. This is going to help us get that consistency, right? How can we improve? How can we show up for ourselves? How can we be, developing connections and positive bonds, right? Allowing yourself time to adjust towards life changes and circumstances. Like I said, some of us, like I said, are aging. Some of us are losing certain abilities and gifts, etc. Right? How are we able to adjust when these things do occur? Right, moving forward in regards to micro action, because we know better, we tend to do better, right? So I want us, like I said, like have a moment we're able to build that rapport. So like I said, this is the time we're able to, like I said, have this awareness. So think of an area in regards to where you are, rushing in your growth. Why are you rushing? You get there imagine that. You get there tomorrow, you get everything that you want. Think about that, think about it. Everything that you wish for, you get it tomorrow. Like, how would you feel? Think about all that. Do you think that you're truly ready to sustain what you just asked for? You know? And if you are ready, like, I'm thumbs up, I support you, like, you ready for it, right? But on the back end, let's be real to ourselves. Some of us out here wishing for immense amounts of money or having these possessions or having whatever we desire, right? A business, etc. But we didn't work for the process. We don't understand the discipline, what it takes for the process, right? You have the business tomorrow, but do you know what it takes to maintain the business every single day with all the people, the cashier, the money, the investments? When people are trying to look through your files to make sure that your revenue, all the numbers are matching, like, do you have trusted people? Did you actually do the research? Like, do you know what's going on? Do you know what's going on, right? So this is why I'm trying to have you understand that we have to be, conscientious about, understand that this is a process. And the more that we're able to embrace the process and understand that this is a learning process for us to be able to acquire the skills as we grow, we're going to be able to be in a position and be more satisfied because we have the skills, we have the ability, we have the discipline, we put the work in, right? And people that put the work in, it's not that they earned it, like they deserve it type of thing, but like they have the sustainable skills. So if the business was to fail tomorrow, things were to go down tomorrow, they know how to, you feel me, build it back up. But if you just got everything tomorrow, do you have that? That's all I'm saying, y'all. So I want us to be able to, like I said, build this rapport with ourselves, be real with ourselves, and understand, like I said, you can't half-ass life, because life you feel me, you're going to be in a situation where you scratch your head like, yo, like, I blew through all this. We need to understand, like, you feel me, we got to learn through the process. So, once again, pulling it back to, like I said, micro action, asking yourself, am I growing at the pace that supports me or a pace that is exhausting me? What's pushing me to the limit? What's going on with myself? And then moving towards, like I said, taking some action. I want you to also identify one way you're able to, like I said, reduce unnecessary pressure this week. You know what I mean? Like, can you implement some mindfulness? Can you implement some building that rapport with yourself so you're able to have tangible evidence in regards to how often is this occurring, right? Are you able to, like I said, move away from dysfunctional people and kind of like, yo, I'm gonna put some boundaries up. I'm gonna give myself more time to really kind of do the things I need to do that's on my plate, right? So what are some things that you're able to do in a sustainable way for your sustainable growth? Right? So like I said, there's no need to have jealousy. There's no need to have envy. There's no need to keep comparing yourself to other people. And let's be real. Like I said, the more time that we keep scrolling and we're, you know what I mean? Like, these things that we don't realize, but unconsciously they're happening and they're implementing into our life because we're putting these things into our mind. We're putting these things into our, you feel me? It's all coming in. You assume it's all coming into the body type of thing. And that's, stress, etc. So I really want us to understand, like, yo, let's kind of get away, let's detach, let's get ourselves into nature. Let's really have that rapport. Let's build that relationship with ourselves, right? Let's understand that, yo, anything we put our mind to, we can get. That person right there that got it, let's clap for them. Let's wish them blessings. But we also, too, can get that or the latest version. You feel me? But anything we do, we can put our mind to. We have to have a positive mindset. We have to put the work in, right? We have to be real to ourselves, right? We have to be kind to ourselves, right? But we also have to realize that good things take what? They take time. Right, so you don't need to force yourself into growth. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. You don't need to prove your process to anybody, right? As long as you have, within, like you whole within, you happy within, your peace within, you did it within, you put the work within, you feel me? Things are going to be good for you, right? So let's wrap up this video here. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy and stay blessed.